So, hi and welcome back, and this is a video. This isn't a still you're seeing. You can see my hand moving in front of the camera, and this is a bit of a tongue-in-cheek type video because you get all these the well-known, really well-known YouTube videos that do film cameras and stuff, and they go on about, you know, the camera they bought, and then all of a sudden they become really expensive and they become really, you know, sought after because that person said that, you know, being an influencer. And I'm just doing this as a bit of a tongue-in-cheek about this because obviously this isn't the best of cameras, but you know, could someone with my repute make a video about a camera and then send the price up like they do? I think it's very unlikely. But what I did read on the website about this camera, and I was just sort of like, it's just awful. But it is a good camera. You're going to see some photographs now as I talk through this that I took with this a few weeks ago. Now I want to do another video on the actual negatives and the development I did on this because I want to try and make this actual video pay in the sense of do two videos about it. And it starts out a nondescript late 1990s entry-level 35mm zoom compact camera from GoCo. Right, so they start off by saying in this review that it's actually an entry level, and do you know what, there's the most hateful thing I hear is, oh, it's an entry level this. No, it's not an entry level, it's a camera, and it's fun to use. It's about, you know, fun. I used to get this with the film camera equipment I get. They were saying, oh, this is an entry level. When you watch these things, well, fine, I won't buy it from you then because you're you know, being condescending to me. Some people could only just afford something like this, you know, and it's like, it's a camera to them, you know what I mean? And it's having fun and being able to do something fun with the camera. That's the important thing. So basically, describe it as a nondescript. Well, if it's actually a manufacturer called GoCo from Japan and they make them in Malaysia, I would say that's descript, not nondescript. So I just want to go through some of the specifications on it. Okay. The one I won't go through in the crib sheet has got it's got a super macro, which is kind of weird. I've done a few photographs of it with the super macro set, and it helps you between, and you have to guess this, I think it's between 25 and 70 centimeters away, and the flash automatically sets to go off. There's a button on the top, which I'll show you in a minute. It is autofocus, and it has a 35-70mm lens, 5.3 to f10. That's really dark. And focusing range at 35mm is 0.7 meters to infinite, and telephoto is 0.8 to infinite. And it will take DX coded films 100, 200, 400 and 800 ISO, and then it gives you as a different flash range and stuff. Now it takes one CR2 battery, and I use CR2 batteries in my other cameras, so I got that with it. But I'm just going to show you around it now, and I'll put that sheet down, and hopefully you've seen some photographs I've taken with it already. Okay, so let's move that out of the way and put that there. So it's an AZS 700 AF, really straightforward, not much to it. It did say on the sheet I read that it has got like an infinite button. I don't think this particular one has. I've not got a battery in it, so I'm not going to press the button power on, there's no point in that. But you have the power on and you have the rewind button, so basically if you want to rewind the film before you're finished, you can do that there. Quite often, did any of you do this? You used to like get halfway through a film and you wanted to change it over. So you basically rewind it and then you load it up into the camera again and then fire through with the lens cap on to stop it exposing. Done that a number of times back in the day. The super macro mode, basically a push button, it sets the lens, it automatically switches on the flash gun, and it fires away anything between 25 and 70 centimeters, I think it is, and I think it's 25 and 80 on the zoom, if that's right, something like that anyway. So yes, let's say 25 to 70 centimeters, it'll help you, and does like a macro type shot. It's got a self timer, flash mode, and it's got the W&T, the telephoto and wide angled zoom button there. Nothing on the back. Now they did have ones that had data backs on them, but this isn't one of them. And if I just open up the back like so, Just a really straightforward auto wind system here, and nothing really much to say about it other than it runs about half a frame a second or something like that. So however, it did say, here's the thing, I threw the manual away. That's why I've got this crib sheet. For some reason I put the box in the rubbish and had a manual in it. Why I did that, I'd never know. But it's infrared focusing, and from what I remember, it says it's actually center point focusing. There's like a little dot there, and you focus and then recenter up, from what I can remember. I could be wrong about that, because it says it's not on there, but I don't know if that's true or not. Anyway, so I've done some photographs with it, some XP2, and I may just quickly go through some now, but you'd have seen some through this part of the video anyway. Now, do you like me doing these type of videos? Do you like me talking about old cameras and stuff, cheap cameras I'm buying and that? Because this, as I say, cost me, I think it was £14 plus postage on eBay. So, and if they're going to be that expensive to buy, then I'm just going to buy lots of different ones and have lots of fun with them, and yeah, see if they work. And this one does work. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the photographs. Okay, so I just want to go through some of these photographs I took with the GoCo, and it basically, what I did was I grabbed a roll of XP2 Super that was gifted to me, and then I exposed it as 400 because you can't change the ISO settings in the actual camera. So I went with those, and I developed it in ID11 because I've been using ID11, and I mean, the results are okay. The camera lens isn't really that sharp at all, if I'm going to be honest about it. It's not brilliant. However, it's as good as some of the other compact cameras I've used, and I honestly say it's probably as sharp as the Olympus Trip, and that's not brilliantly sharp. So I'm just going to show you a few of the shots that I took with it. So here we go, and so the exposure's right on them, and I had no problem with exposure all the way through. And this was this kind of really weirdly lit area by the river. But the ones that I'm really excited about are not these. It's more this stuff, more what I call the grunge factory of film photography. And the one thing I've noticed, when you expose XP2 at 400 and then develop an ID11, you get the most amazing, weird, grungy contrast I think I've ever seen before. So and you can see from this is an old pub called the Phoenix, and if I just zoom in, you can see, are they very sharp? Well, that's not too bad, is it? Really, it zoomed in quite a way, and I don't know what an effect developing in XP2 Super in ID11 has at 400. Does it reduce the sharpness? I don't honestly know. I don't necessarily think so, but that could be one of the factors. I think what I've got to start doing is, when I do these lens and camera tests like this, I need to have a generic, when I say generic film, a film that I know and trust. It's a black and white film that I know is going to give me nice sharpness and nice contrast in, and test them on all the same basis. Now I'm going to be doing that. I'm thinking about setting up a members area, and I'm going to do that with some of these cameras I've got that are sitting around with the different lenses on. So that's something that's coming up in a plan. I actually just made it something like Fomapan, because it's obviously, Fomapan's really inexpensive, and it's a nice sharp film. So that may be the way forward. And again, this is down the side of the building, yeah, this is, I mean, if you're printing a 6x4 or a 7x5, this is just going to be absolutely fine for you. You're not going to need, you're not looking at ultra sharpness. This is for someone who's going on holiday or wants to put a camera in their bag. It's not like, it's not like a Leica or anything like that. And as I said, this is tongue-in-cheek. This whole thing was tongue-in-cheek about, the next compact camera everyone will want. Yeah, this one didn't really work very well. It was over the river with some leaves and stuff. And I want to get a better shot of this post box. It's a Victorian one, and they are quite few and far between now, from what I understand. Or do you know different? And here you go. This is what I mean. Look at that. I mean, it's just so poster. Yeah, it's really grungy. And then you get the close up. Look at that. I mean, isn't that just incredible? Now, I'm not talking about the camera, I'm talking about the way the films come out. So if I know I want to do grungy doors and really, really nasty, dirty, horrible things, this is going to be the way to develop in the future for it. Okay, and you can see how high the contrast is. And this was early evening, so it was actually getting quite. The sun was going down, and obviously it's quite in shadow, and the people are really quite well lit, getting hit by the sunlight, the sun-setting sunlight. And I was going around looking for grungy shops and grungy places to take photographs of, and you can see here, yeah, and it had the desired effect, which is really, really good. And this is using this close-up setting and with the flash, and actually that's not too bad, but it's not really a proper, what I would call a proper macro anyway. And there's a couple sitting underneath in the shade. I don't know how many more are, and that's just the part of the memorial near the Swan Hotel in Bedford. And again, I think that's using the close-up setting again, and that's where you're getting all this, the way it is with all the dark backgrounds. It does that when you do that with the close-up flash. And again, the same thing, using the close-up setting. So they're not too bad. I mean, for guessing the distance, it's not bad at all, to be honest with you. And just the last few shots of the graveyard and the church. And I think these are the last couple. There you go, that's the last one of the actual front of that shot. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was meant to be a bit of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Buy me a coffee if you can. If you want to send me a film, please make contact. That'd be really, really cool. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.